Welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Monday, December the 30th, 2013. I'm Jennifer Richardson with the details. The repairs and replacement of pipelines are ongoing as the CWSA works to restore water to some areas in the country affected by the Christmas Eve trough system. That's according to CEO of the Central Water and Sewerage Authority, Garth, Saunders, speaking to the media today in Spring Village, Georgetown.
We route the pipelines from the old location because, as Curtis Brown, our supervisor, would have explained, the damage was so severe that it widened the river. The riverbed was widened, so we could not use that original span. We had to reroute to safer ground and to an additional, to have an additional length of pipeline to supply this area. So it's a significant cost for us in every way, restoration costs and pipeline costs as well.
Saunders noted that the Perseverance water system is one of 6 water systems which is being worked on, stating that 2 water systems are already back up and running.
Perseverance, we'll have Perseverance back on stream by maybe the end of the day on Wednesday. So, because we have to not only complete this repair work, but we have to go to the source, disinfect the source, and make sure that the pipelines are disinfected so that we supply not just water, but quality water to our consumers.
With several communities still without pipe-borne water, residents have been utilizing a number of means to gain access to water. Today on the leeward side of the island, persons were seen congregating in the streets and flocking trucks that frequent their communities with water. Jamisha Wright caught up with Summerlin Hill residents who expressed much gratitude to those who have been assisting in making water accessible to them.
We had to cut off the requirement to come through water here, then everything.
What are some of the struggles you've been facing as it relates to, the supply of water? I realize you're here with your buckets trying to get some water.
Yeah, well, since Christmas Eve, you have to say, all the Christmas morning I didn't have any water. Well, I live on the other side, where it doesn't have a good road and all of that. So I have to come on the main to get the water.
All right, and how often do you
well, the truck functions for Christmas, the truck was in the area every day. But because I'm where I live in, I don't know when the truck comes. So it's kind of difficult for me, right, to get the water. But I'm faithful today and I'm grateful that I was on the road when the truck came on the other side. I'll say that I'm thankful to God and for these 2 young men kind enough to stop to give me some water.
Our news team also caught up with one of the water truck drivers who says since Christmas morning he was out delivering water to persons in a number of communities.
Where has he been supplying water to?
Supplying to Barley, Clare Valley, and up and down Lincoln areas and Topicals.
Okay, are you working with a company organization or this is just voluntary work on your behalf?
Unity Labour Party.
Unity Labour Party. So what are some of the feedback you've been getting from persons that you've been supplying water to?
Very much appreciated towards what I'm doing.
All right.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves continued his tour of the trough-affected areas over the weekend, accompanied by Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer. The 2 Prime Ministers journeyed to the villages on the windward side of the island on Saturday. Prime Minister Gonsalves encouraged persons to work together in the rebuilding efforts, while Prime Minister Spencer said he admired the resilience shown by the Vincentians during this difficult time. Zuleika Lewis has that story in this report.
It was water like this that overflowed river banks and intruded the homes, lands and buildings of many persons here. To date, 9 persons have been confirmed dead as a result of the Christmas Eve trough system, 4 still deemed missing, hundreds in shelters and extensive damage to buildings. In the company of disaster management officials, other dignitaries, the media, and the Prime Minister of a neighboring Caribbean island, Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves journeyed to the windward side of the island to get a clearer picture of the system's impact.
Below the road and above the road, on the banks, you never planted anything other than grass, the grass range, to hold the soil together and for animals when they cut them. But when the lands were cut up, small farmers plant every inch of the land. So they humbug on the top side of the road and the bottom side of the road because they want to plant. Some places they plant bananas, some places they dig tanya bank or yam.
Speaking to members of the media, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister, Baldwin Spencer, said even in the face of disaster, he has seen many persons still smiling and exhibiting the resilient nature that the Caribbean is known for.
What I'm admiring really is the spirit and the resilience of the people of St. Vincent against the backdrop of what is clearly a devastating experience. And I'm here, as I said, to show solidarity with the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and more particularly the Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, who he and I have developed a very close friendship.
Prime Minister Spencer added that in his estimation, St. Vincent and the Grenadines was the hardest hit of the Caribbean islands that were affected by the weather system, and help will soon arrive.
I get the impression, though, that although Dominica has been hit, comparatively speaking, St. Vincent has been the hardest hit, and then of course St. Lucia, because you would have had an added phenomenon where there have been loss of lives here, both in St. Vincent and in St. Lucia.
Prime Minister Gonsalves in an earlier report estimated that the damage done is in the region of hundreds of millions of dollars. For SVG-TV News, I am Zulika Lewis.
And a number of Vincentians affected by the Christmas Eve trough system are still displaced, and SVG-TV News caught up with a few of the approximately 70 shelterees at the Buckament Bay Secondary School, who spoke of what shelter life has been like over the past 5 days. The two most popular wishes of the affected persons are to find their missing loved ones and to return to a permanent place that they can call home.
Miss Johnson.
And I understand you have 3 children and you lost everything. Tell us what the days have been like.
Well, it's not too bad. I got good treatment and stuff like that, but I'm not really comfortable like how I was as in my own home. But I'm coping still until I get somewhere to go.
Okay. And when you came here, how long you've been here? You came?
I came on Christmas morning because the night at the time the kids they asked to buy a friend up there, so the morning I came down here.
All right. And everything was totally destroyed.
Yes, everything.
You were in the house when?
Yeah, I was in the house, and my brother-in-law who lived up top, my boyfriend brother, he came down and tell me that water started to come in the yard, so I must take the kids out and bring up by the top house. So while I was up there, the back wall ended up and broke down, and the water continued to come over heavily, so we have to end up and take the kids out and carry them up by the road by a neighbor to sleep. I can't wait to go back home, to get back my home.
Well, the coping is alright, and we have to come back to the right home. But I'm happy for the time.
Alright, your house is totally destroyed?
My girlfriend's house is destroyed.
Happy to see you again. I spoke with you when I was here on Christmas Day, and it's good to see you smiling. Yes, you were the one of them who lost someone. You actually lost your girlfriend, right? How, the last few days have been like here at the shelter?
Well, the experience with me is underneath water. I survived, and I thank God for that. Bring back here to serve everybody. But one thing, I lose my girlfriend, and I keep worrying. Right now, by the way, I feel too happy. Kind of friendship. So all I want is my house back, and I lose my stove, everything, and a train in my house. But I like to see the body of my girlfriend, because I miss she bad. I try to save you, but I can't do nothing.
What was her name again?
Shola Edwards.
Janice Welcome is the name, right? And you're here with your 2 children. You were affected by the floodings on Christmas Eve night. Tell us, some of the damage you sustained to your home.
Well, the inside of the house wet up. Some of the clothes gone out. I lost the gas bottle, the food stuff in the house, and the kids' beds knocked up and things like that. But I already go back and clean it up already, hoping to get it dry soon to move back home.
Okay, and the house is still stable, it's still standing properly?
It's standing, but it's leaning on one side. So I'm hoping to do some work on it once I get some help to put it back level and live inside of it still.
All right. And when you came to the shelter, you came here Christmas morning? When you came
Christmas Eve night I came here because it was about 9 after 9 when we realized that the river came over into our yard. The dog in the garage we had Ty was making a lot of noise, so my boyfriend get up and went out. When he went outside, the water in the yard was covering his knee already. By the time I get to wake the kids up to get out, water was by throat already, but thank God for life still.
Yes.
We can get things back, material things we can get back. But I'm thanking God that for sparing my life and the kids.
Certainly. And Janice, what the experience has been like here at the shelter?
Well, here it's not too nice because we have run into people who would have the little mishaps and so on. But you know, it's only that. And the lights in the night, you can't sleep. Some people are all going out and want to come in, whatever hour they feel like, leave the door open. And the draft coming in, they give me a cold even. My boyfriend has a bad cold because of the draft coming inside.
So your wish right now is just to get back home?
To get back home, sure. I want to be comfortable and happy.
Reporting from the Buckingham Bay Secondary School, which is now being used as a shelter for many who have been affected by the torrential rains that affected St. Vincent and the Grenadines and 2 other Eastern Caribbean countries on Christmas Eve. I am Jamisha White for SVG-TV News.
Meanwhile, SVG-TV News also caught up with the shelter manager and the New Democratic Party's candidate for Central Leeward, who were present at the Buckingham Bay Secondary School when the news team visited.
We're here with Ben Exeter, the New Democratic Party's candidate for Central Leeward. What are you doing here today at the Buckingham Bay Secondary School?
We just came to donate some food, some warm food, cooked food for the people in the shelter. There's about 67 people here in the shelter today. Actually, the number is growing. When we were here on Christmas Day, it was 55, and today is 67. They were told that this afternoon there'll be another family of 3 which will be coming here, so it'll be close to 70. Yes.
Yeah, indeed, that number is growing because I was here Christmas morning and it was actually 39. And by Christmas afternoon, you said it was 50-something. I mean, tell us what you think about the situation here. I've spoke to some of the shelteries and they've expressed mixed feelings. Some say it's okay here, some say they're ready to go back home. We understand that, but they're saying the accommodation is okay, but it's not, the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not home. It's not what they're accustomed to, comfort creatures. But it's a safe place. It's a clean place. And I think it's serving its purpose. It's not meant to be something permanent. And I believe school starts on Monday, so they'll have to vacate over the weekend. I believe they'll be moving to another area up in Kittel's area, if I'm not wrong with that. But I think it's okay. I think that what they've done here, the staff is very accommodating. The kitchen facilities, the shower facilities, the washrooms are very clean and tidy. Like I said, it's supposed to be a temporary situation and a permanent one.
We're here with the shelter manager at the Buckingham Bay Secondary School. Your name is?
Mr. Stephen Derby.
All right, Mr. Derby. Tell us what the situation has been like here over the past few days.
Well, the situation has been very chaotic and persons are displaced from the home, so then we are trying our level best to make them feel as comfortable and as homely as we possibly can by attending to the most of their needs, as much as we, given the limited resources that we have.
Would you say that the shelteries have been cooperating, abiding by the rules, the shelter rules? Are there any major problems you guys have been experiencing here?
No, we haven't had any major problems here at the shelter. And the persons here are quite understanding. We would explain to them from time to time. We'd have little meetings and we would talk to them, and we would let them know about our little rules and guidelines in respect to running the shelter here. And they do abide by the rules and the guidelines that we have here.
Some 21 health clinics across the country have been affected by the Christmas Eve trough system, and according to the Ministry of Health, will only be able to provide limited services at this time. In a media release, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Rudy, said these health clinics, mostly on the windward and leeward sides of the country, will only be able to provide emergency services and medication to persons who require an additional supply for their current hypertension and diabetes conditions, until the supply of water to these clinics returns to normalcy. The ministry is urging the full understanding and cooperation of all citizens at this time. Meanwhile, the ministry is advising citizens to exercise sound judgment when purchasing and consuming meats and other foods during this particular period. According to the ministry, seasoning or heat cannot and will not reverse the spoilage process of meats and other foods, noting that tainted foods in all forms are unacceptable. Owners of retail food establishments are encouraged to observe good hygiene practices and to continue selling clean food. Butchers are also advised that all meat harvested under unsanitary conditions will be deemed unfit for human consumption and will be seized and condemned. A substantially completed terminal building was today handed over to the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the Overseas Engineering and Construction Company. The handing over brings the International Airport Development Company one step closer to the 2014 completion date. Chief Executive Officer of the IADC, Dr. Rudy Matthias, says today marks an important milestone in the big, long continuing project.
So we have, in spite of the doubting Thomases, today mark the end of a significant component of that mission on which we started in 2005. This process, though, of building an international airport, at least as far as we at the IADC are concerned, is a national effort. We have sought at every opportunity to involve all of the stakeholders in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in this important project. We've never taken ownership of this airport project as though IADC is the owner. We know that we are perhaps the leaders, but not necessarily the owners.
Still to come, Eustace offended that he has been sidelined from discussions to deal with the current devastation of the trough. We'll tell you more about that and other stories on the local scene when SVG-TV News continues. Don't go away. Welcome back. Opposition leader Arnhim Eustace says he is offended that he was not invited to a meeting hosted by Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves over the weekend. In an interview with SVG-TV News earlier today, Eustace outlined that persons journeyed from all over the region for discussions on the Christmas Eve trough system, which severely affected the country, killing 9 persons. Eustace said he, as the leader of the opposition, was not invited to participate in the discussions, including one held with local contractors, and he has objected strongly to being sidelined, as he puts it.
I say frankly, I'm offended by the fact that the government could have a planning meeting, a disaster of this nature, bring people even from overseas to attend the planning meeting. The opposition got 49% of the vote last election. Was not even invited to be part of that meeting. I take very strong objection to that. It's exactly what we should not do as a country at this point in time.
Eustace added that although the opposition has been left out of the national planning process, the party will do its part to assist persons in need beyond the political lines.
It is clear that the government has no interest in our being involved with them in the planning exercise, so we're going to sit down and carry out a plan for what we can do to, in fact, assist people. And we're not going to play no politics with this. Whoever needs assistance and we can provide it, It doesn't matter to me whether you're a Labour Party supporter or support the Democratic Party. We will address people on their merits. The impact that the thing has had on them, that's what we'll deal with.
Meanwhile, the government is being called upon to grant duty-free concessions on appliances to persons severely affected by the trough system last week. Following a closed-door meeting with his parliamentary caucus today on the party's relief efforts, Eustace said he is prepared to make the proposal, as he sees the need for white goods such as fridges and stoves to be made readily available to affected persons.
You can remove import duty on that, a portion of it, then it makes it much easier for people to get back those items, which are so critical to normal living in today's world, you know? And I have a deep concern with that, because I think this storm, this disaster here, has more impact internally on people's lives than the national road, you know, knocking off a bridge. Is more important, and that affects people's life directly and immediately.
The opposition leader says he is very concerned about the extensive damage to homes and these appliances, noting that it poses a major problem since donors don't usually make white goods donations.
I always go to them and argue to repair a road or to build a bridge or to help with something in agriculture, because agriculture has also been damaged, you know, by the rains, and it really is a very serious situation. But we have to recognize that in this particular crisis, the damage came right into your home.
And the duty-free barrel program has been extended by government up to January 15th next year. A release says the government took the decision based on two main reasons. One, to aid in the current relief effort in the country following the December 24th trough system, and the other is to facilitate the late arrival of barrels from some countries. 1,400 cases of bottled water along with foodstuff were received here over the weekend from the Barbados government and the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus. The shipment was delivered by the Barbados Coast Guard and handed over to the National Emergency Management Organization (NEMO) at the warehouse to be distributed to residents in the affected areas by the trough system. Representative of the Barbados Coast Guard, Sean Hazelwood, says the government is happy to assist SVG.
Caribbean islands, and as I say, one community, one CSME. We just decided to help out our Caribbean neighbors in time of need. We do hope that these donations go a long way in helping the persons that would have been afflicted by the recent bad weather that you experienced here.
Meantime, NEMO's warehouse manager, Raymond York, expressed thanks to the government and people of Barbados for their assistance.
I must thank the government of Barbados for sending them this water for us, which was arrived on the Coast Guard Barbados Coast Guard.
SVG diplomats in the United States are appealing for urgent aid to help their homeland in the wake of the Christmas storm that left several people dead and a trail of destruction. In a letter commissioned to nationals in the diaspora by the SVG Consulate General in New York, Consul General Selman Walters appealed for donations of cash, food, clothing, toiletries, water, and medical supplies. Walters, a former government minister, noted that the country suffered damage estimated in the region of 150 million EC dollars as a result of the December 24th storm, which left 9 people confirmed dead, 4 missing, and scores of others remaining in shelters. A number of houses, roads, and bridges were also destroyed, and the potable water system severely affected. Walters said the Consulate General, in collaboration with a number of Vincentian organizations in the United States, is spearheading relief efforts to send much-needed supplies home. The insurance companies here are expected to be overcrowded in the next few days and possibly weeks as persons seek answers as to if and how exactly they will receive compensation for the damage caused to their vehicles by the Christmas Eve trough system, which triggered flooding and landslides across the country. Jamisha Wright, in this report, takes a look at some of the many vehicles that sustained damage from the torrential rains.
The front was that way? Okay. You see in a lot of other displaced vehicles, that one.
What's back in the school gate?
Whoa.
That's the school gate up there, another big one next one. Facing from up the road. They've torn it everywhere. Floating from the road.
And there's another white car. You see him behind there as well. Oh my God. So what are you trying to do here now? I mean, inside the vehicle is totally covered in mud. What are you trying to do here now?
For me.
Can the car even start?
No, it can't start. Can you do it again? I'm checking it right now. Let's stop it.